I made 5 simple prompts you can copy and paste to make a faceless video using AI. If you ever wanted to get started making faceless AI videos, the problem is that there are so many AI tools out there and there's just as many ways to mess them up. Take it from me, I've screwed up a lot of times. We're gonna enter a prompt here and we can write it in plain English. So I'm just gonna pull this one prompt I've already written. So I'm going here to our classroom here. I have a bunch of templates available. And under the page for this video, I have 5 prompts that we're gonna actually use for our entire project here. The first one we're gonna grab is prompt A, Perplexity Research. So pause the video here, or you can go to the link I have in the description below, where you can get free direct access to where I have these prompts. They're just text files, right? So I'm just gonna copy this prompt I have. So back in Perplexity, under this Ask Anything box, we're just gonna paste our prompt. So I optimized this prompt so it's a little bit easier to use for our specific project. And what I wanna do is research everything on this topic that we're gonna insert to the bottom here, and then get as much information and primary source data as possible. One of my favorite things that I read from John Truby's Anatomy of Story is that when you want to write a story, write about something that you as an author want to learn about, right? And that kind of really stuck with me. So one topic that I really like to learn about, and I also find interesting, is how games have been made and the stories of how games were developed. So the topic I want to choose is how Iwata was involved in the creation of the original Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo 64. And to ask my question, I hit enter. So while it's doing this thing, if you ever heard this story, it's a pretty interesting story where Super Smash Brothers was supposed to be a completely different game. And then Iwata, the president of HAL Laboratories, and then later the CEO of Nintendo, really came in and saved the game. So that's what I want to use as an example for the topic of this video. And as you can see, Perplexity has provided me all these details and even some direct quotes from interview. So give this a quick spin. Make sure everything sounds okay to you. And when it does, you're actually ready for the next prompt. We're going to go back here to the page and I'm going to grab prompt B, Perplexity Write Story. And I have another prompt here. And this time I'm telling Perplexity to take what you've gathered and change it into a format that's really engaging to listen to and digest as a nonfiction story. And I have optimized the prompt a little bit to give us exactly what we want for a short form story. So I would pause here, or you can, of course, copy paste from the link I have below. In the same chat window I have with Perplexity, I'm just gonna paste what I have. And I don't have to fill in any other information. Basically, I'm saying, take what you have and go ahead and create this story out of it. And let it do its thing. It's telling you what it's doing. And there you go. It actually provides this really nice detailed summary exactly how I asked for. It's calling out the story of how Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 64 came to life is one of passion, creativity, and relentless determination. I like the sound of that. And yeah, there's a beginning, a spark of an idea, a middle, a leap of faith, and then the end, a smash hit. And oh, there's a little epilogue here. Cool. So this is a really cool script. Whatever topic you ask Perplexity to research, read it through, see if it makes sense, because AI is not infallible, right? These AI tools are just tools. We still need to be able to validate what it's saying. But for the most part, Perplexity makes it easy because it provides most of the source material for you directly here. If I click here, yeah, right here, this is actually from Iwata Asks. It's a great book. I actually have the ebook. I've read about half of it so far. Great interviews with the late Satoru Iwata. Great guy. Now that we have our story in a pretty summarized form, we're going to actually move on to using our second tool, which is ChatGPT. Now, I like using ChatGPT for more general purpose things, and I chose ChatGPT because I'm going to run several prompts through it. And I'm going to go back to my prompts, templates, and then I'm going to use prompt C, ChatGPT shot list. Let's open this up. This one's a bit more involved here. we have to very specifically specify to ChatGPT exactly what we want. So pause here, or you can hit the link to download this text file and just copy paste the prompt itself. And let's go back to ChatGPT. With what we're trying to do with ChatGPT, it's absolutely free. You'll see some like paid features on the screen here, but I'm gonna make sure I don't use those. We're gonna paste this prompt in, and then where it says, here is the story, I'm gonna go back to Perplexity and go back and copy paste the answer it gave us for prompt B. All right. Now let's go back to ChatGPT, and we're just gonna literally paste the story here for ChatGPT. All right, we're gonna let it run. Yeah, here it goes. And while it runs, I'm gonna explain what's happening here. So I'm telling ChatGPT that they're actually an expert in short form video production, and they're also really good at engaging storytelling. And I want a story out of this. It's gonna be a story for about 30 to 45-second TikTok video. It needs to be engaging, it needs to be digestible. And then a bunch of other parameters that I try to optimize for this project, so it'll be easier for you when you actually try it yourself. I said, let's make sure there's a beginning, middle, end, 2 visuals per scene. Introduce characters, make sure there's consistency in the entire shot list, all these kinds of things. All you need to do is copy paste. So here's what it spat out. TikTok script, how Super Smash Bros. Was for Nintendo 64 was born. And it has scene 1, spark of an idea, scene 2, taking a risk, and scene 3, a smash hit. Cool. It basically chunked our story from Perplexity and then created scenes, right? Which is super cool. I'm gonna give it a skim through as well, just to make sure everything's right. Make sure with whatever your topic is, just fact check it with Perplexity as well. But so far, I'm very happy with what ChatGPT has provided me. So let's move on to the next prompt. All right, so I'm back. I'm going back to my prompts. Templates. All right, now we're gonna use prompt D. And here's what we're gonna do here with prompt D. So this one's a little bit longer too. So copy this or pause the video here. What I'm telling ChatGPT to do now is take this script and break it down into prompts for DALL. You can actually use these tools to help you use other tools, right? So this is my favorite thing to do with ChatGPT, or one of my favorite things to do, which is get ChatGPT to understand and tell me how to write better prompts for other tools. So what we're gonna do with this prompt is now create prompts for DALL, which is going to create our images for us. And here in this prompt, we do need to specify what the style of images we want here is. I like the kind of cartoony, but not really anime style that Masahiro Sakurai used for his YouTube videos. So something similar to that. So I want something that's like Japanese cartoon. I'm literally gonna say what I just said, cartoon style, not anime, but soft, warm cartoons. All right, so now it's running, and I asked for it for several things, actually. I asked for provide a contextual prompt to make sure that I tell DALL, hey, keep this in mind with every single image. And now it's creating the prompt for the first visual for the first scene, as you can see here. And it's going back in the previous prompt. I did specify, try to use 2 visuals per scene, at least 1 and at most 2. Sometimes you have to be really specific with these prompts. All right, and our prompting is done. So skim these over real quick, just make sure they make sense. Sometimes ChatGPT will make prompts where the characters are inconsistent. So just double check that, because that is going to be really important as we move on to the next step. So now we're ready to create our images. And this is honestly the most exciting part for me. I'm going to access DALL, which is also free. They say right here, by ChatGPT. I'm going to go back to my ChatGPT chat here. I'm going to copy this contextual prompt for consistency. I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to also copy the scene 1 and first visual prompt. Go back to DALL and just explicitly call out the following is the first prompt. All right, and we can just let it go. Give it a sec. All right, and it provided 2 images, 2 interesting images here. They're not too bad. Kind of like them. Has this like somewhat Ghibli style, right? Let's go ahead and try the second prompt now. And I think I just need to grab the prompt itself because right here, DALL-E's calling out. Let me know if you'd like to tweak anything or move on to the next scene in the series. So it's ready for my second one. Let's go ahead and paste the second one in. All right, there we go. And I do feel like there's a decent amount of consistency between these two sets of images, right? Like especially the second one and first one. I would say Iwata looks a little old in this one. Yeah, so I would probably go with the first one. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and copy paste all the prompts and let them all generate right now. By the way, quick little hack. Even though I didn't tell DALL-E generate Mario for me, it ambiguously wrote a heroic plumber-like character with a red cap and overalls punches a large, mischievous-looking ape-like figure on a floating platform. Right? So I actually included in my prompt that you can copy paste from to talk ambiguously about copyrighted characters. So I got pretty lucky there. All right, so I'm done generating all my images. I did have to tell DALL-E to make some adjustments. Like here, Masahiro Sakurai was a little too young. So I asked it to regenerate. I think these are a lot better. But I think these turned out pretty well. I had to regenerate these as well. Make sure to double check what's being spat out here to make sure these things kind of make sense, right? So now we have our images. We're going to save them. We're going to get a short list and save the images that we need. There's one more prompt we're going to run, and we're going to go back to ChatGPT for that one. So I'm going to grab it from here. Classroom, templates, in my video, and the final prompt, prompt E, ChatGPT audio text. So remember all that audio and dialogue that ChatGPT wrote for us? We're gonna actually grab that in a really easy, digestible way. And this is as easy as it gets. I'm just asking it to reformat something for me. I'm going back to ChatGPT. All right. And I'm gonna ask it to reformat the script. And it should be all in this easy to copy paste format. Now what we're gonna do is take these and then go to ElevenLabs. ElevenLabs is free to try out too. You get a free trial and you get free credits. With the amount of audio that we're generating here, you should be able to do everything with the free trial. So ElevenLabs is a great text-to-speech generator. It's AI powered as well. And what I really like about ElevenLabs is that it gives a ton of voices. And you can have so much fun with these, just listening to all the different ones. For this project, I did pick one. It might not be the best, but...
human, Ruby says hesitantly. She winces as my eyes widen.
But I think it works for what we want to do. So the way you use this is go to the playground, go to text-to-speech. And just right here, what we're going to do is just take our very first scene, copy it, go here. And I'm going to remove quotes just in case. Cool. All right, so I pasted what ChatGPT gave me. I selected the voice Rebecca here. And there are a few options here. I'm going to keep most of it default. The only one I moved is style exaggeration. I just want something to be more dynamic. And so I have this set at 49%. Anything above 50 is probably going to create some issues. And all we had to do is hit generate speech and let it go.
Did you know one of Nintendo's most iconic games began as a passion project between two geniuses? Meet Masahiro Sakurai, a lanky, sharp-eyed 20-something who already created Kirby at just 19.
I think it sounds great. So I will double check it after I'm done, but let's go ahead and download it. And then let's go ahead and do the other ones. All right, now that I have all my images and I have all my audio, it's time to actually put everything together and make the video. Now, I could pull up the big guns like Adobe Premiere Pro, but I'm gonna use a free tool that's really simple to use and it's free, and that's Canva. You can actually use Canva for video editing. So I have it pulled up here, and we're gonna create a new design. Now I'm just gonna do YouTube Shorts right here, and you can also type it in there if you want. YouTube Shorts. And this leads me to my next little creative tip. There are a lot of the video AI generators right now. Like I made a video on Hilo, and I also made there's also Kling AI and Sora. But at the moment, to get started, it's really difficult to get those things to look really, really good. So when it comes to just getting started with using these AI tools and doing a project that's simple, just taking static images and presenting them in a very interesting and dynamic way using just images and text can be really fun. And it can still be really engaging, and it is a video. Here's what we're gonna do. We have 6 images, and Canva makes this really easy. We have 6 images to put in a video. So I'm actually going to duplicate this 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6 images. Then I'm going to upload my 6 images I downloaded from DALL. And I'm also going to upload my audio files as well. All right, and now I have 3 audio files in here. Now, this is an interesting way to do some video editing, right? So I have page 1. So instead of a horizontal timeline, I'm just going to go ahead and take the first image and replace it here for page 1. Now we're here on page 2. This was the second image. Page 3, this was the third image. Page 4, this was the fourth image. Page 5, and page 6. All right. And just to make it a little bit more dynamic here, just going to go to brand and page 1. Yeah, we'll keep the blue. Page 2, we'll shuffle this to make it a little bit different color. All right, let's go back into thumbnail view, which gives us that horizontal view. And now what we need to do is time it to our audio. So let's add our audio. So we go back to uploads, we go to our audio, and then we got to make sure we grab the correct ones. All right, just to give us a little breathing space, I'm going to make all these clips about a minute long. So let's see here if I can. Timing. Let's make this about 40 seconds here. Let's make this frame about 40 seconds. And then this frame about 40 seconds. All right, just to give us some breathing room so we can add our audio. And now let me fit the audio in. This should be okay. All right, and I have all 3 of my audio files synced up. So now I just got to line up my images to the audio. So let's go all the way back.
Did you know one of Nintendo's most iconic games began as a passion project between 2 geniuses? Meet Masahiro Sakurai, a lanky, sharp-eyed 20-something who already created Kirby.
So all I'm going to do is stretch the duration of these images to match the audio, and I'll see you in just a moment. I got the timing right. It took about another 5 minutes to just get everything in there, I think. So we're going to click here. We're going to go to animate. And when you click on here, you can actually just see some of the things animating here. I'm going to just add a little photo zoom for the picture itself. And then between these frames, I'm going to add in a transition. And let's just do what's a cool one here? Let's do a slide. I think that will be pretty fun.
Pitched an idea. A chaotic 4-player fighting game.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Okay, let's add that dissolve here. Hit animate on that image. Let's do let's do a photo zoom.
His boss, Satoru Iwata.
Okay, cool. And we're going to add a transition here. And let's do a linear wipe this time. And here, let's animate again. And sure, we'll wipe it this way. And let's add a transition here. Let's do a circle wipe's pretty good. I think it flows between the TV.
Kong and Samus firing at Fox.
There we go. We could change it. Oh, nice. We can do out. Perfect.
The fighting game. But something was missing. Sakurai believed.
Yep. So
and Samus firing at Fox.
There. Yep. So it's kind of cool. It comes from the TV screen where they demoed the game. All we need to do, I guess, now is just change these titles. How Smash was born. Spark of an idea. Taking a risk. Okay. And then a smash hit. And last but not least, Creativity smashes expectations. All right, cheesy, but gets the job done. We're done. So I think we got a pretty cool video. Let me just go ahead to export this out. All you need to do is hit share, hit download. Make sure you have this unselected, download pages as separate files, and you hit download. Let it go. All right, that video exported pretty quick. All right, and let's open it.
Did you know one of Nintendo's most iconic games began as a passion project between two geniuses? His boss, Satoru Iwata, the warm, smiling president of HAL Laboratory and a programming wizard, saw the potential. Sakurai said, "What if we had a fighting game with 4 players at once?" And Iwata responded, "Plan it out, and I'll handle the programming." Working nights and weekends, they built a prototype called Dragon King. It was a phenomenon. Selling over 5 million copies, Sakurai and Iwata's labor of love became one of gaming's greatest franchises.
So I think that was pretty cool. I could definitely have worked better on the timing, and that's kind of the fun of it. It's a creative, iterative process, right? So yeah, next time I would probably fix the timings. I'd probably have more images just to have it more engaging. Maybe instead of 6 images, I would double it to like 12. Maybe find another narrator that might have spoken a little bit faster. But overall, I think this was a really fun way to get started with using all these AI tools and making something really cool and really neat. And this is definitely a topic where I think if I wanted to learn more about other game design creators and their stories of how they made games, like this is something where I could actually learn while I'm making something. So I think this is pretty neat. Anyway, I had a lot of fun making this. I hope you enjoyed doing this project too. Let me know if you have any questions or need help with anything. You can leave a comment or just ping me in the community. Yeah, and if you want to hang out in a community where we use AI and automation tools to help ourselves be more creative, feel free to join the Studio Spark School community. It's free to join, and hopefully I'll see you there. See ya.